couple of goals today if they're going to win. But the first 10-15 minutes will tell us a lot about Cork's attitude if they're up for this game.
James Owens from Wexford is the match referee. It's Cork who won the toss. They're playing from right to left in the first half. Light breeze behind them, although the breeze predominantly is blowing across the field. And straight away it is Sean Curran who gets that ball forward for Tipperary. Back in the side again in the championship team this afternoon. First touch here from Mark Coleman from Blarney in as far as Luke Meade. He'll be expected to play quite deep. Ball forward there by Dara Fitzgibbon from Charleville. Ball still very much in play down there in the corner. Finally goes out over the near sideline, and a line ball is going to be to Cork. There's a crowd here of about, I would say, 30,000 thereabouts, Michael.
Right, John, just straight away, Sean Curran, who played here last year from Mullinholm, switched to the middle of the field, and Michael Breen got in centre forward where he played a lot during the league.
And he also played there at the beginning of the league final against Galway. That was 4 weeks ago. Cork didn't quite know what to make of all of that as Connolly Hahn goes down in a heap there on the 13-metre line, and straight away the medical personnel come in to attend to him. This is how it came about here. Just a clash, collided there with James Barry, and James Barry gets a very early yellow card. That's in the opening minute.
Yeah, and James Owens, the referee who lets the game slow, but you could see there was no need there for James Barry. The ball was gone out of control, and that's a frontal charge. That's a yellow card, and you know, if it's a yellow card in the first minute, it's a yellow card. Sometimes you see those getting away with early on in the game. It
gives Cork an opportunity then for a recovered Connolly Hahn to go and take this first free of the match. So he brings it outside the 20-metre line. And an opportunity then, gilt-edged opportunity for the Rebels to go in front. Interesting, Patrick Horgan is not the one taking it. Horgan back in the team today, having been left out for a number of league matches. And that's inside the left-hand upright, and it's gone over the bar, and Connolly Hahn puts Cork in front. Well, they were behind by 9 points at half-time in the corresponding match last year, and it finished with a difference of 9 points between the teams at the end of 70 minutes as well. The most recent meeting of these teams was in the league, and that was won by Cork at Porky Reen by just a point. But this is the championship, and Tip, the Munster and All-Ireland champions, trying to set up their first attack. Foiled, however. Mark Coleman again, diagonally across the field, over there towards Seamus Harnedy, the man from East Cork. Harnedy off his left-hand side, looking for a second point for the Rebels, and Cork lead the match by 2 points to no score. Harnedy very much back in form, the kind of form he illustrated in 2013 when Cork, of course, reached that year's All-Ireland final.
Yeah, super diagonal ball across, and Seamus Harnady's playing a full forward. Patrick Horgan in the corner, great take by Harnedy and over the bar, and young Luke Meade gone out right half forward. So a few changes in the Cork attack that started really well.
Darren Gleeson's long puck out down through the centre, intended there for the inside forward line. Noel McGrath coming onto it here, kicked and kicked over the bar. Point for Tipperary. And it's taken the raiding Noel McGrath to come in there, but he had a goal very much on his mind, I'm certain.
Yeah, well left by Seamus Callan. Noel McGrath plays football, obviously, with Lockmore Castellani. Great chance of a goal, really. Be disappointed he didn't finish that, a man with his skill, but he kicks it over the bar.
They have a very, very good team indeed in Lockmore Castellani. We're in the club championship last year. Cork once again. This time it is Luke Meade. Third attack, third point. What a start. Very much the outsiders, but the outsiders are leading the champions by 3 points to 1, but we're still inside the opening 4 minutes of play, and it's Luke Meade, one of the debutants, getting his point here. Short puck out taken by Tipperary. They try to work it out now, out of defence, all the way downfield. Once again it comes in over the head there of Noel McGrath. In there to help him out, however, is Michael Breen wearing the number 9, straight across the field. In there for somebody to forage and to get it well, and it's Brendan Morris coming through. Marga taking off the goalkeeper stick and over the bar. Great raid by Tipperary, and this time Brendan Marr coming through from midfield to put that one off the goalkeeper stick and over. 3 points to 2.
Brilliant catch there by Noel McGrath. Interesting, just watch here. There's actually John O'Dwyer, beautiful hand pass to Brendan Marr, and he put it over the bar. Great start to the game, very open hurling so far.
Very lively stuff indeed. Tipperary back there to help out John McGrath, the blue helmet, down through the centre, beyond Michael Breen, inside towards John O'Dwyer, wearing a yellow helmet this afternoon. Back it goes as far as Dan McCormack. McCormack from Borrisoleigh gives it back as far as Sean Curran, and Curran from fair distance out, puts it over the bar. So many attacks, so many scores. Brilliant opening to the match, inside the opening 5 minutes, and they're level at 3 points apiece.
Yeah, some start to the game. Sean Curran, as I say, out in the middle of the field, and interestingly enough, Tipperary's couple of attacks, they had a couple of goal chances straight away. They're running through the middle, and Cork forwards looking very sharp as well.
This is Lee Hard, should be one of the best forwards in the game. He isn't one of the best forwards, but should be rated, I think, in the top 10. Isn't always because of his inconsistency. Over there as far as Luke Meade, they're anxious to make a big impression here. That's going away to the right-hand side, and that's the first wide of the match for Cork. Luke Meade, he's back in there at a three-man midfield this afternoon, and that's going to be interesting to see how they function. That puck out isn't a good one by Tipperary, straight to Dara Fitzgibbon, back as far as Chris Joyce, and Joyce, the wing back, lays it upfield for Harnedy to go in there and go after. Chasing after that is John O'Keefe, the return John O'Keefe. Last match he's played was in the All-Ireland final of 2011. Harnedy has it. Way beyond the inside forwards, but collected there well by Alan Cadigan, and Cadigan lets fly from an acute angle, splits the post, puts it over the bar, and Cork have got another one, and they go back in front again by 4 points to 3.
Yeah, and the movement of the Cork forwards are excellent so far. Alan Cadigan switched over here from the left corner in front of us over to the right corner to score that. We saw Luke Meade scoring a point here from in front of us. He's switched from right half forward to left half forward. They're moving all over the place, and they've Tipperary under a good bit of pressure here at the back.
Well, from Cork's point of view, they'll be delighted with the forward display so far. A bit concerned about the fact that the backs have been opened on 3 occasions in the game in the opening 6 minutes. Little to choose between the teams so far. Curran tried to go through the centre. Dan McCormack tried to roll it up onto his stick, fails to succeed in that quest, however. Hand pass across here as far as Michael Breen, and Breen puts it over the bar. Very good score by Michael Breen. That's 4 goals and 7 points he's got in his championship career so far. Set up for him by John O'Dwyer and finished by Breen, the Ballina man and UCC student. 4 apiece.
Yeah, Ger, very interesting. Every time the ball goes up to either forward line at the moment, it looks like they're going to score. They're well on top of both defences.
Anthony Nash, who's been first choice goalkeeper for Cork now for the 6th year in a row. Great catch over the head of Shane Kingston that time. Brilliantly done. Superb play by Seamus Kennedy. And in there's a problem for the Cork full-back. Damien Cahalane up against Seamus Callanan. Callanan would cause problems for any full-back in the country. And it's a marking job this afternoon that Damien Cahalane has got to pick up and do. An unenviable task in many respects. What about that for a catch? Seamus Kennedy, the wing-back, collecting it over the head of Shane Kingston. Free into Tipperary, and it'll be Seamus Callanan himself who will take it. Missed the league final. He was a big absentee that day, but that was 4 weeks ago, and now 20 metres out. He can put this one over, just 2 on the goal line, but they're anticipating the ball being knocked over, and it is indeed. So Tipperary, 4 points, now 5, and they take the lead here, I think for the first time. Through the centre, collected well here, taken down by Dara Fitzgibbon. Playing it back as far as another youngster, Mark Coleman. Over to the corner here towards Cadigan. He was tripped by John O'Keefe. And that's going to be a big task for John O'Keefe this afternoon to keep tabs on Alan Cadigan, who had the better of his duel last year, as you remember, with Mickey Cahill. And a problem straight away for John O'Keefe with the referee speaking to him. Remember, James Barry's already collected a yellow card, and now another member of the full-back line for Tipperary has also got a yellow. Yeah, leading 5-4.
I think that's a harsh one, Jerry. You know, he did leave his hand back and trip him up, but it was actually more of a silly foul. Pádraig Maher had made up a lot of ground to cover in behind. We haven't seen Ronan or Pádraig Maher on the ball yet, but that was a silly free. And as you said earlier, interesting to see Conor Lehane on the frees. I think that's, you know, you saw Patrick Horgan drop during the league, and obviously the manager putting more pressure on him to perform from general play rather than depending on him just to take the frees.
That's exactly what they are saying. They're saying to Horgan, you are a very experienced, very classy player, but you've got to do it in open play. That's fired all the way down there by Ronan Maher. Brilliantly caught. Hit away from trouble there by Colm Spillane. Another debut player, just 23 years of age. This time it's Patrick Horgan is looking back towards the referee to say, did you see that? This was the challenge here. Cathal Barrett is his marker for the afternoon. That was a brilliant catch.
Yeah, it's not often you see John McGrath beaten in the air. That'll give Colm Spillane great confidence. Another player new to the Cork team today.
Cathal Barrett cutting it in. Over there towards Noel McGrath, doesn't get to it. Christopher Joyce does instead. The Napierchik player soloing forward. Now where's the end product here? trying to lay it off, intended there for Horgan. In came the challenges. Horgan goes low, picks it up, shows industry and determination. Hand passes it back, however. Darragh Fitzgibbon there. I think the first Charleville man to play in a championship match at this level for Cork. In as far as Horgan once again. Outside it goes out to the wings towards Lehan. Lehan off his left-hand side, 50 metres out from the target, and it swings away to the right-hand side. And that's a second wide now by Cork. Teams level, 5 points apiece, 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, I think that was an important passage of play. You saw some hard tackling by Tipperary there. Christopher Joyce made a great run up the field, but, you know, a bad wide at the end of it all, and you need to be scoring those chances.
Darren Gleeson, all the way down through the centre again. John O'Dwyer keeps on coming across for those anticipating, but it's Dan McCormack who's got it instead, and the umpires have a look at it and wave the white flag, and Dan McCormack gets just his second ever championship point. His first was in the All-Ireland final last September, and here he is putting Tip in front by 6 points to 5. It's rip-roaring so far, really good pace, great attacking play, great scores from both sets of forwards. Anthony Nash, teacher in Mitchelstown CBS, up there through the centre, intended for Harnedy, collected by John Barry instead, or James Barry I should say, helped out by Seamus Kennedy. Down into the corner here, once again, it's Colm Spillane who collects that one, ahead of John McGrath, and he's done well so far. Bill Cooper, low ball, really good ball inside to the inside forwards, into Cadigan. Looks over his right shoulder, has a go, swings on it beautifully, and floats it over the bar. It's another one for Alan Cadigan, his second point of the match.
That's a brilliant score, John. Colm Spillane has had a great start, and John McGrath played a great ball up, and to me, Alan Cadigan has been the most underrated hurler. There's Spillane again with a brilliant catch over John McGrath, but I think Alan Cadigan has been one of the most underrated forwards in the country over the last number of years. He's generally scoring 4 and 5 points from play, even on beaten Cork teams, and that's another great score. And John O'Keefe on the yellow card can't get too close.
What about that for a catch by the centre half-back Mark Ellis into the middle towards Darragh Fitzgibbon, working his socks off in the centre of the park there, and that ball out over the sideline. Teams level for the 4th time in this match with 12 minutes gone. Well, we've been waiting some time for a really good Munster Championship match. Let's hope this continues in the same vein. So far, so good. Good catch by Mark Ellis, the Mill Street player, playing in his 13th championship match. It'll be Cathal Barrett who will take this, a player who's come back from some ankle surgery during the winter, so this was just his 3rd match of the season so far. 2 in the league, this one in the championship. Won by Dan McCormack, laid off well towards Noel McGrath, ran out of space, ran out of opportunity to get the ball in play. 3 players from Cork converging on him. That seems to be the change of attitude this time. Last year Cork stood back, allowed Tipperary to dominate. This time they're going in, they're closing the space on Tipperary time and again.
Yeah, I see Cathal Barrett switched on to Alan Cadigan, John O'Keefe gone over the other corner onto Patrick Horgan, and that's as a result of that yellow card.
13 minutes gone, 12 scores so far. Might be another one here for Patrick Horgan. Took his opportunity, knocks it over the bar. His first chance, his first score. Playing in his 42nd ever championship match. Cork lead by 7 points to 6.
Yeah, they're going to be thrilled with this start up front. You know, all of the forwards really have the Tipperary defenders under pressure, all doing very well, and with the ability to have, look, on paper, it looks a phenomenal Cork forward line. They're getting great ball, and their half-back line doing very well under the high ball. Here's Mark Ellis again.
Ellis making another catch. Michael Breen, the man who's marking him this evening. And this time the referee has decided that Ellis holds on too long. That's
well, I think he was fouled. He makes a great catch. He switches hands here, falls down, and Michael Breen stood him up, and the hand on the back and down on top of him. I certainly think that was a free out.
Well, it's going to be a free to Tipperary anyway. The referee, James Owens from Wexford, the one who makes the call. And a chance for Tipperary to draw level once more. Seamus Calden stands over it, just outside the D, which means he's about 40 metres from the target. Breeze blowing from right to left as he's hitting this one, makes no mistake. 2 from 2 for the great man from Drum and Inch. Real towering figure, 28 years of age now, Seamus Calden. Always remembered for the 13 points he scored in last year's All-Ireland final against Kilkenny, and 9 of them, of course, were from open play. Phenomenal performance. Anthony Nash pucking it out over towards Lee Hahn, catches it well with that left hand, goes off then. Ronan Marr goes after him. It's Lee Hahn, assertive, dominating, and Does he finish? Not quite. Or they're not quite sure, because the umpires have decided we need Hawkeye. I would have thought they had a reasonably good angle on that one.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal catch, and Conor Lehane just left Ronan Maher for dead. You know, and that's what they're trying to do. Ronan Maher wouldn't be the fastest defender in the world. He's a great hurler, great hands, and they're dragging him all over the place. We'll wait here now for the result of Hawkeye.
Quarter of an hour gone in this match, and so far I think everybody's enjoyed it. It's not the blowout that an awful lot of people have been fearing from a Cork point of view. And let's see what Hawkeye has determined. Is it a kneel or a toe? It's a kneel. It's outside.
Yeah, good call by the umpires, Jerry. You know,
Call,
that's
yeah.
why it was brought in, and you know, I think in the past there was probably games decided on decisions like that. And,
No doubt about it.
Good call.
Darren Gleeson going left half forward this time, over towards Noel McGrath. It's worth doing. He catches it, plays it back here, back as far as Paddy Maher. We haven't mentioned him so far, and he's driven it away to the left-hand side. Well, last year, you may remember, he ended up getting man of the match. Cork were playing a sweeper. They kept on hitting the ball out of defence, straight to Paddy Maher or his brother Ronan, and they dominated proceedings. This time, Cork goes short, out of the back. Christopher Joyce in as far as Dara Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon working it forward here towards Lehane, working extremely hard in this match. Out of luck the last time because of Hawkeye. No such doubt in anybody's mind this time, and Lehane has got a third. The first two were from freeze, this one from open play, and maybe this will be the day when he will really turn it on in a big match against Tipperary.
Yeah, the difference there, Jerry, was work rate, as you mentioned earlier on. Last year that wouldn't have come off for Cork, but they're working that bit harder and they're fighting for every ball, and Conor Lehane full of runs so far.
Bill Cooper back in here as far as Fitzgibbon, beaten for it by by Brendan Maher, and in the end it's hit over by John McGrath. Well, he only needs half a chance, and McGrath has scored, and now he's one of 5 forwards to score so far. The only one not to score so far in play has been John O'Dwyer in the other corner.
And all the great players have that bit of confidence, you know, and John McGrath beaten for the first few balls. The first chance he gets then, cool as a breeze over the bar.
John O'Dwyer, by the way, this afternoon being marked by Stephen MacDonald, who's moved across to left corner back to pick him up. This ball is in as far as Sean Curran. Plays it low, inside towards the aforementioned John O'Dwyer. Back out he comes again towards Michael Breen, and Breen pops it over the bar with a minimum of fuss, maximum of effort, and he's got a second point. Lovely little reverse pass there from O'Dwyer, back out to Breen, and it's now 9 points to 8.
That's a brilliant score, Ger. John O'Dwyer is so unselfish so far. That's 3 points that have come off him. Real quick hands, and you'll see now that gives him the option later maybe of selling a dummy and taking on a ball himself. But he's really playing for the team so far.
No side capable so far of opening up a big gap. It's always just a point or so. This is Kingston. Yet to see him really flourish in this match. Good ball inside towards a 2-man inside forward line, and it's Harlan who eventually gets it, takes it on. Har partly blocked that time, and the Tipperary defence stands firm, and Paddy Maher manages to get it out as far as his younger brother Ronan, and Ronan drives it a good 70 metres way downfield, down there towards Bubbles, leaves it off as far as Callan over his left shoulder, and wide of the target as well. But a potential goal opportunity at the other end.
I think you'll see a very important block there from Cathal Barrett. Seamus Harnedy, ball broke to him, and Cathal Barrett made a great block.
It's so quick, it's so exciting, this match. Dara Fitzgibbon going right through the centre, nobody able to stop him. He had an option out to the right, had the confidence to hit it himself, but he might have just used the player on the wing, who was Luke Mead. That becomes wide number 4 for Cork. 9-8, Tip still lead midway through this first half. Perfect day for hurling, really, not too warm.
Yeah, if you watch here now, Seamus Harnedy, just Cathal Barrett comes in with a phenomenal block down. Eyes on the ball, that's great skill, great bravery. Well done, Cathal.
It really was. That time, the ball over there, but intended for John O'Dwyer, but didn't quite make it. Michael Breen also appealing, and the linesman, who is Paul O'Dwyer from Carlow, indicating that it's going to be a line ball for Tipperary. Bubbles thinking about taking it, and in fact he is going to be the designated taker. Player who can turn a game in a moment of genuine quality, such as the ability he's got. Catches it, hits it, puts it beautifully over. Great sideline. Oh, we've seen some absolutely brilliant skills so far. Pure joy to watch. 10 points to 8. Tip lead. Little between the teams, however. Nash, this time targeting Shane Kingston. Not able to hold on to it, however. Applies pressure. Referee allows play to continue as that ball came back towards Luke Meade, and the ball flies over the bar. Wonderful scores. That is 19 points so far in 19 minutes. Not half bad.
No, great start, wide open game, and you know, Gerard, what a game hurling is when it's played like this, with no sweepers and everybody attacking, you know. And Cork came here last year with 7-8 backs and didn't trust themselves, and they're out here today hurling from the heart and off the cuff, and that's what I love to see anyway.
Well, the weather conditions are certainly helping. Last year was a real downpour all the way through, impossible for the fans to generate any kind of excitement. Game wasn't good as well. This time it's the complete opposite. A real pile-up, prodded forward by Mark Ellis, won back by the other number 6, who is Ronan Maher. All the way down towards Noel McGrath, can't get to it. Bill Cooper helping out his captain that time, Stephen MacDonald. They forage in the middle of the field, trying to get it. Noel McGrath has it. Paddy Maher was making a run forward. He decides to go back towards Ronan Maher instead. In towards John O'Dwyer, Bubbles collecting, delivering it back towards McCormick, and Dan McCormick standing outside the 45-metre line, swings it away to the left-hand side, and that's only the third wide for Tipperary in this match. They continue to lead by a point, 10-9. Quick puck out, Nash looking for a loose player, Meade's that loose player, Newcestown youngster, gives it away, however, bad ball straight to Paddy Maher. Collecting it here is Sean Curran, lets it fall and then goes after it. Blocked out here by Mark Coleman. Nothing's going to pass him by. Into Bill Cooper. Cooper from the middle of the field. A real hit and hope one. Will he make it? Not quite.
Oh, the boys inside the full forward line. Alan Cadigan was 10 or 15 yards away from Cathal Barrett, and he was looking for a ball to be played in front of him, and just a rush of blood there from Bill Cooper. A little bit of a lull there the last couple of minutes, a couple of wides, but up to that, you know, there's only been a handful, I think, in the game.
As the managers look on, Darren Gleeson pucks this one out down towards Michael Breen. He collects it well with that left hand, spoons it forward here as far as Brendan Maher, and Brendan Maher inside the 45-metre line, swings on it, but swings on it wide as well. It was a good catch, it was a good layoff, it was a decent chance, still one between them. 10-9, great match, 22 minutes gone. The puck out over towards the right half forward this time, intended for Kingston, but he's not getting the better of Paddy Maher so far. Into Sean Curran. Curran slipping, partly blocked. The referee indicates a free. Free to Tipperary. Good fast pacey game. Here's Curran again, and that was where he was caught there by Shane Kingston. Kingston has come back from a broken leg, but he's a minor 2 years ago. Back to the full of his health, into John O'Dwyer, and Bubbles from an impossible angle, comes back down. John McGrath trying to stay on his feet, getting a chance to hit it, but off the Cork player, and it comes back out again. Bill Cooper's back there helping out. Another good block by Michael Breen this time. Cooper once again goes, collects, hits it from inside his own 45-metre line, way downfield. Racing out to get it is James Barry. Fumbles his initial attempt. Harnedy goes back, prods it back as far as Shane Kingston, and Kingston hits it from a distance and lands it over the bar. Wonderful play. Terrific opportunity for both sides at both ends. And finally finished by Shane Kingston, 10 apiece.
He was the last of the young lads that needed to get a score to settle him in. That's all 6 Cork forwards have scored from play now, and you saw Bubbles with a great shot there, came back off the post, and John McGrath reacted quickly, got it up, but it was cleared away, and there's Kieran Kingston on the end of that, and draw match, and Cork well deserving this draw so far.
Level several times. Again, going forward here is Brendan Maher, last year's captain, in as far as Michael Breen, and Breen splits the post with his third point of this first half. And he's one man who's getting opportunities now. We saw Mark Ellis earlier on catch a few really, really good balls, but he's got to keep very close tabs on Michael Breen.
Yeah, well, that's one fault in Cork's game. They're not picking up that runner from the middle of the field. See Michael Breen, Brendan Maher, Dan McCormick, all getting coming off the shoulder and creating the extra man, and Cork not picking up that runner.
Harnedy jumps, doesn't catch, but he's supported here by Luke Meade. Made a big, big impact in this year's league, and he's making an impact on his debut in the championship. He's just cracked over his third point. What Michael Breen can do for Tip, Luke Meade is doing from a deep position for Cork, and it's now 11 apiece once again.
Yeah, and what really confused the Tip defenders is the movement of the Cork forwards. They're switching not just positions, they're switching on the field as well. And Luke Meade now at left half forward, Pat Horgan over at left corner forward, and they were on the right wing a few minutes ago. So the Tip defenders at 6 and 7s, different styles of players meeting them every few minutes.
Mark Coleman was anticipating that ball might break off the sticks of a couple of Cork backs. went back, collected it, picked up here by Horgan. Patrick Horgan, who got 15 points when these teams last met in the league, needs the goalkeeper stick to touch it over the bar, but the credit will go to Horgan. He got 15 points in Porky about 8 weeks ago in the league match between the teams. 10 from frees, 1 from a 65, and 1 in the 74th minute of that match to win the tie for Cork. They're ahead here, 12-11.
Yeah, Jared, the quality of these scores is just unbelievable. That's on the sideline, 70 yards out, and he just gave it a little flick of his wrist and over the bar. And a great catch again by Darragh Fitzgibbon.
Wonderful catch, back into Mark Ellis, pursued. They can't get to him. An opportunity to lob it forward here towards Alan Cadigan. 2 points so far for him. Marking him is Cathal Barrett. Had a really wretched time of it in Limerick 4 weeks ago in the league final. But that was against Galway, against Cork this afternoon, and they're not clearing their lines. And Lee Hans possibly in here, trying to get by, helped out by Barrett. Barrett hand passing it back out as far as James Barry, and Barry in the end, at the end of a rough challenge there from Seamus Harnedy. And it's got to be a free out for Tipperary.
It's going to be a free out and a yellow card. But just look at the ferocity of that tackling from the Cork defender. That's a high tackle. And but Jared, just the work rate of Cork, and you can see how hungry they are, and they look extraordinarily fit this year as well.
So Harnedy gets a yellow card, and the man he's marking, of course, James Barry, got a yellow card much earlier on. But it's some rip-roaring game. There's no quarter given, none expected here. It's a real traditional old-style Munster championship match between the teams who have dominated the championship over the years. Cork, 51 Munster titles, Tip 42. They have been the big two in Munster over the years. A championship that goes way back along. Their first ever meeting was in 1888 in Bonavent, and here all these years later, the youngsters of Tipperary and Cork are giving it everything they have in a wonderful match so far. Luke Meade soloing, 2 men after him. Michael Breen's one of him, hooking him and hooking it well. Really good play by Breen. Tipperary win it back once again as a result of that. Noel McGrath back to Sean Curran. McGrath to take a return ball, an elegant player. Diagonally across over here, going for it is Seamus Callanan. Callanan beating his man, striking it well and hitting it beautifully over. It's a third for Seamus Callanan.
Well, Jerry, we've seen some great scores in the match, but have we seen a better one than that? Michael Breen at centre forward, he covered 40-50 yards to hook Luke Meade. He thought he was just going to tap it over the bar, and then Noel McGrath's hurling brain. Look at his hook, but Noel McGrath's hurling brain, he could have went for a score from 90 yards. Instead, a lovely diagonal ball to Callanan. Great first touch and over the bar, super score.
8 minutes to go to half-time. Harnedy comes out for it, tries to get it, and challenges Sean Curran, who went down over the sideline. And David O'Sullivan, the Cork Moir Forna, out here, arguing the point. There's the linesman who is Mick Murtagh from Westmeath. You might remember seeing him that day in Nolan Park when the famous game between Tipperary and Wexford, and the Davy Fitz incident, and he was the linesman trying to get Davy off the park.
I wouldn't argue with Dermot O'Sullivan either over a lane ball. Well off to give it to them, it's easier.
Seamus Harnedy wearing 10 in it full forward, as so many people anticipated he would be. It's going to be a Cork line ball, and it's going to be Mark Coleman who will hit it. Catches it well, strikes it beautifully. Should be the goalkeepers who saw it late. Good stop there by Darren Gleeson. Both goalkeepers keeping their goals intact so far. Don't remember any real goal opportunities for either team developing. Michael Breen's 3 points so far. This time he's the supplier of that ball in there towards Bubbles and Seamus Callanan. Back it comes towards Noel McGrath. His younger brother was on his right-hand side. Didn't need him. Hit it magnificently. Beautiful crisp strike. Technically so good. And he puts Tipperary back in front again. Yeah,
lovely little flick out again by John, and Noel looked at his options and had the ability to swing around his left side and stick it over the bar.
That time it's Lee Hahn, and it's caught by Tony Marr. Back as far as Ronan Marr. Ronan, who played so wonderfully well in the All-Ireland final last September. This time it's a giveaway to Stephen MacDonald, Cork captain, the Glen Rovers man, in over the head of Harnedy, inside towards Cadigan. Cadigan's taken down outside the 13-metre line, and it's going to be a free in for the Douglas man and his teammates. This time causing real problems for Cathal Barrett. The helmet went flying as well. Here's the challenge again, and it was...
Well, he knew exactly what he was doing. That's a professional foul in soccer, but that's a yellow card, and he got away with it. We saw a yellow card for John O'Keefe for a harmless little hand trip out here, so there's no consistency in that, and that should be a yellow card.
Well, the referee is having a word with him, but as you say, no card